Good Wednesday evening on a cold, cold day in Lubbock, Texas. Not as cold as it was yesterday or as cold as it was in Abilene, but it sure wasn't very cold in the gym where Friendship and the girls program led by this guy on my left, if you're watching on TV, Trent Hilliard, really busted loose on Denton Guyer last night in a 6A regional semifinal game. This is the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta. I'm going and jumping out of order here. I'm still a little bit road loopy here.
Yeah.
So and it's just getting started, but this is a good time of year, as coaches like Trent know. When you have to keep planning road trips, have to keep figuring out where to play next, that's not a bad thing.
No.
We'll talk about what's next for you guys, but I just mentioned before we came on, that game last night, your girls won 71-46. But you beaten Denton Guyer, that didn't surprise me.
Right.
The fact that you beat them by 25 and were pretty much in control from the second quarter on, I was a little bit surprised by that.
Well, especially you get this deep in the playoffs, and then you expect everything to be a battle, and it was. It was something we kind of came out, and we've been really good about getting started. Having good starts, and I think some of that is, you go to these Metroplex teams, I think they underestimate a little bit about what we have out here in Lubbock, Texas, and so you kind of come out and hit them in the face a little bit and see how they react, and our kids just kept coming at them, and Guyer would do some good things, but we seemed to answer every single time that they would hit a bucket or kind of get back in it. Then we would kind of top it. We'd get a bucket and a steal in another bucket, or we get a bucket and an and one, or they hit a two, we'd come down and hit a three. So we kind of topped everything that they did, and eventually just wore them out, and they got frustrated. They couldn't attack our defense. Our offense was being very efficient, and that's how you end up winning by 25 points in a regional semifinal game.
I want to talk a lot about what you just said there, but I want to throw this out. The late, great Danny Wren told me once that when they were on their run of 3 straight championships, they played Dallas Lincoln. I'm not sure if they played them all 3 years or 2 of them, but he made a point of making sure that his girls were out on the court early so that the Dallas Lincoln girls could see them and begin underestimating them as early as possible. And then the ball went up, and all of a sudden the Dallas Lincoln girls realized we're in for a battle.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's West Texas girls, right?
It is. It's the way we play, and we and some of it, we haven't established that. I think the last team at the highest level, what used to be 5A, now 6A, the last team to make a regional final it's been 13 years, I believe. I think it was Coronado in 2012 that went with the Denver girls, and they faced Duncanville in the regional finals. But I think that's the last
former
time.
Employer. Okay, you're saying highest level.
Right at the highest level, absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Certainly, we've Shallwater's coming off of the state championship and doing that, but and it's a little different at the highest level because you hit the Metroplex schools round 2. And you're playing them throughout. So you have to win. You play El Paso that first round, and then it's Metroplex. Yep. So we're wearing out Abilene right now as that neutral site, and go making the trips there, but it's to our advantage. We travel. We're used to traveling out here. Well, that was the first time that Guyer has had to make that trip, and they don't have the plan or how to do this and work it out, and all of a sudden it's all new to them, it's all different to them, and there's something about having done it and our kids kind of have a routine and being there that I think paid off for us last night.
Matter of fact, when you played Mansfield Legacy the round before, I heard a couple of their folks, just overheard them talking about how it was such a long trip to get to Abilene.
Yeah.
And I heard, he said, how long did it take? He said, it took us 2.5 hours. And I thought, 2.5 hours, that's a sneeze and maybe one pit stop and you're there.
Right, exactly. And we're coming off that first round where we traveled to Fort Stockton and do that. So yeah, going to Abilene is nothing. And you got to remember with the new format too, with the regional tournament, we would have been playing in Fort Worth.
Yep.
and it would have been a regional tournament with Friendship, and then you have Denton Guyer, you have Denton Braswell, and you have Fort Worth Boswell all playing right there in Fort Worth. And so they have the advantage all the time we've done that. We miss the regional tournaments, a neat experience, but as far as, hey, let's get you on even terms, this is working out a little bit better for us.
Gives you a lot more of your fans and parents a chance to get there as well. And I thought they were great last night.
Oh, yeah.
Your parents have been great the 2 games I've seen. They are very supportive. They're very loud. I don't know if Jamie Lent's very loud over there. He's normally a pretty low-key guy, but all the rest of them were pretty raucous last night.
Yeah, they get into it, and they're excited about it. You know, we take our JV kids that don't go to another sport. We let all of our kids that go to a spring sport go ahead and go. We don't want to hold them back, but with those kids that are just basketball or fall sport and basketball, they work as our scout team, and then we take them with us, and they had signs, and they're down there standing up on the baseline. Of course, we had cheerleaders there that are into the games, and so it's a small group, but it's a mighty group that gets after it. And you're right about Jamie. I think Jamie's over there keeping stats and doing some things, analyzing the game a little bit more than he is cheering for it.
Oh yes, Jamie's nothing if not cerebral when it comes to watching sports.
That's right.
We're going to talk a lot more about last night's game. I was actually there covering for Hub City Preps. It was a very impressive performance. Trent hit on a couple of things I want to talk to him about. Before we hit the break here, though, I want to mention that I think I finally rounded up all the playoff information. A lot of that's going to be on Raymar Air these next couple of days. I'm going to run through that list real quick if I can find it on this website that I should know how to navigate. But I do know I'll start with the games I know for sure. Friendship Girls, 6 p.m. Friday at Sweetwater High School against number 13 Friendship Girls against number 2 Fort Worth Boswell there in the home of the Rattlesnakes.
All right.
The Friendship Boys up the road at Abilene Wiley against South Lake Carroll at 8 p.m. Friday. Monterey Girls are at 1 p.m. Friday against Argyle in, I think, a 5 versus number 8 matchup in the 5A regional championship round. That's at ACU. Very nice facility, as you saw there tonight.
Absolutely.
Let me think. 5A boys, Lubbock Cooper is down the road in Fort Stockton against Canutillo at 5 p.m. Friday. We'll come back and talk about the rest of them. We'll come up on a break here on the High School Fan Zone. We're in the Tiger Fan Zone. This is 100.7 The Score. I'm Randy Rosetta.
Bringing you the latest news from Friendship Athletics. This is the Tiger Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back to the Tiger Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I am Randy Rosetta. I'm with Trent Hilliard, the Friendship Girls coach. And before I get in trouble with any Estacado folks, I did not mean to not mention them. I just ran out of time. Estacado boys with what Tony Wagner feels like may be his best team since 2012, the year they won it in 2010. They are in the area round against Burke Burnett, also in Abilene. A lot of taxpayer money going from Lubbock to Abilene this week. Estacado Burke Burnett, 7 p.m. at Abilene Cooper High School. So that's it for the UIL contingent left in the playoffs. 2 girls teams and 3 boys teams. We'll talk about the TAP schools later on. Trent, you hit on something, and I put this in the recap I wrote about your game. Everybody always sees the offensive numbers. You guys scored 71 points. You had Addison Bullinger was incredible shooting the ball. Jada had a double-double. The thing that stuck out in my head was how well you guys played defense and how tough you made it for a very good team just to find shots. Now, they got shots. They found shots eventually, but it took them a long time every possession to look for a shot. When they got down by double digits, that starts to tighten up a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, when that happened, we started telling our team, hey, we're fine with them dribbling out there, and them having to be patient is advantage for us, It did seem like that fourth quarter took forever, though. You look up there and it's 5:30 left in the fourth quarter, and you go and go and go, and you look up there and it's like 5:20 left, and you're like, what in the world's going on? Because, when you're ahead, you're get that clock moving, and it goes slow. But yeah, there was one little series there that I thought kind of epitomized what we do defensively and how much of a, I guess, just how hard it is to find the openings. And as Addison Middleton, they tried to get the ball over to the right wing and tried to get a bounce pass, and she kicked it by, and then they tried it again, and she kicked it again and kicked it again, and we're down on the other end of the court, and every time she kicked it, the ball was rolling down there to me, and I was just getting it and throwing it back to the official, and then sure, they tried again, I got it and threw it back to the official. It's like, and you could just see that their girls' faces, they just were like, what can we do? What do we do? We're trying this, it's not working. We can't get the ball to them. And that's what, just being a pesky defender like Middleton is, like Kaya is, like, Birch is, then you've got Jada, you've got Bollinger, you've got Key. We've got so many people that can just be active and with our defense. And Sharon James, our defensive coordinator assistant, does such a phenomenal job of getting those kids in the right spots and making sure that they're doing the right things. And it's tough. It's been tough for just about everybody we've played. And so when we can take care of the basketball and score, it's going to be really tough for teams to beat us because they're not going to get a whole lot against our defense.
The other thing that stuck out in my mind, and I'd seen you guys the game before, there was a little bit of this, but it was more prominent last night. Addison Bollinger's going to get her points or make her impact somewhere or another. Jada's dynamic is going to do a lot of different things, but you got something from everybody last night. And the two plays that stick out in my mind were Kaya on the offensive stick back on the free throw. She gets fouled, hits it, turns into a 4-point play when it could have been just one.
Exactly.
And then a few minutes later, I think they'd gotten back within 13 again, and I think it was Kaya kicked the ball out to Middleton in the corner, and she just elevates and 6-3. Just those plays at the perfect times really kept you guys where you needed to be.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what I alluded to earlier. When they would score, it seemed like we had an answer, and not just the answer, but one-upped them almost every time, and it came from everybody. It didn't have to be Bollinger that was carrying the load on the scoring, or we didn't have to have Jada doing it. It was everybody that was able to contribute and playing within their skill set, and that's important, that you don't get kids that start panicking and trying to do too much. Just play within what you do, how you contribute. Be the piece of the puzzle that we need you to be, and I thought our kids did an outstanding job of that last night and throughout the year.
And Addison Bollinger hitting shots is always good for you guys. And she took one early. I think she missed her first one, but then she hit one pretty quickly after that. And you could almost sense the relief, not just with her, with everybody there in the friendship uniform.
Right. And when she gets going and gets that confidence, we have confidence in her all the time, and it's her trying to have confidence in herself and just knowing that, you don't have to carry the load. Just go and play. And as we talked about during the break, a lot of times it's assists. She'll have 10 assists, 8 assists, or whatever in a game, and that's as important as her just scoring for us.
She's come a long way from her freshman season. So
absolutely.
And so the Tigers this season. And again, 6 p.m. Friday, Fort Worth Boswell at Sweetwater High School, 6A regional championship game. This is Randy Rosetta. It's 100.7 The Score. We'll be back after the break with the Pirate Fan Zone.